why it's really important to have a plan and understand what your goals are.
In fact, my camel out there is suffering right now with a broken back.
So I actually found Pepe when it was only a couple of hours old, and I'm like, oh, this is a funny meme.
Oh my god.
Yo! Who is this degen?
The old man is swing trading over years at a time. And it's like, that's where the real money is made.
The answer is a permanent loss. With single-sided staking, you don't have to worry about a permanent loss.
When really, at the end of the day, it's just the matter of a macro market. It's just what happens.
If you're aware, if you're disciplined, you can hone that into further financial growth.
Financial freedom, so we can actually live life and not have to be constantly living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, more or less, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crypto degenerates, ducks and squirrels, welcome to this Sunday's lightning round episode of the Degen Roundtable. I will be your fire tender for the night. My name is Will Stevenson. I'm a traveling iron worker that rolls around the United States building TV and radio towers. In my free time, I talk cryptocurrency and self-betterment to assholes and degenerates such as yourselves. I'm joined tonight by my good friend, Mr. Zenith. Zenith is the Degen Roundtable's budding legal and government crypto analyst. And man, I put those words in all the wrong orders, but you guys get the idea. He's super good at legal stuff, and he's super good at understanding government and macroeconomics and things of that nature. And tonight we're going to be just kind of breezing through some super fast headlines and talking about some general market stuff, and maybe even looking at a little bit of price charts and things. I did, in fact, pull up Deck Screener on my computer in preparation for the show. Yes, I was going to go over the hex prices and things because
Will's pulling out the big guns, baby.
Yeah, so we might have TA with Will here in a little bit. So that I was prepared to do it. I didn't know that you would be joining me tonight, so I figured that it would be a good time. But before we get into it, Broski, how are you doing? What's new and exciting with you? I see you have a fancy background. Pray tell, what is that for?
Yes. So shout out to everybody that just caught the other stream I was on. Matty Allen is hosting the Pulse Chain conference for the 4th year in a row now. So I just finished up an excellent panel over with him and good buddy of ours, Nuclear Herbs, a very much true lawyer in the full legal sense of the term that has put a good bit of his expertise into practice over here at Pulse Chain, helping break down a lot of the cases going on. And in particular, we actually talked about a ongoing case in South Carolina. You may know it as the hot dog vendor case, where some guy bought Hex back in 2022 and then was sold after it dropped like 90%. And he said he's angry, so he's going to try to sue Richard Hart and get his money. And it's really awkward, though, because after he filed that, then the SEC filed their stuff, and then the SEC stuff finished, and Richard Hart was cleared of stuff. So it means that a lot of the same arguments we're going to see again here, but they already have a loss on the record, so it's kind of confusing there. The other real big wrench in this one is that this guy's trying to file it as a class action lawsuit. So part of that is you have to show that you are a representative of the class. So one guy is trying to claim that he speaks for all the Hexkins. He is the king of the Hexkins. And that's clearly not true. So there's been a lot of stuff trying to figure out if it's actually a class or not. But yeah, talked with Chuck over there. We had a great time. Maddie asked some excellent questions as well. Gave a little analysis of the current situations going on. But Mr. Will Stevenson, if you don't mind pulling up my screen share, I do have something I want to blast out.
Yes, I just realized that it is episode 96, and so I just, as live while we are watching, I changed the title of the YouTube to episode 96. So here we go, pulling up a screen share for Mr. Zenith.
Yes, sir. So we love shouting out our friends when they're doing cool stuff, and well, our friends are doing cool stuff, and we're very thankful that we're included in it as well. So right now, over on Matty Allen's YouTube and X, he's hosting the Pulse Chain conference. Here is the full breakdown of the schedule. We're on day 3 here, Sunday. So just finished off our not legal talk. After that, they are going into some excellent panels. We even got security. We got some market top. We got some donors coming up. And we are also going to be closing out the show tonight, or over there anyways, with 2 big panels. So panel number 1, the power panel. We got Big Kurkowski, Fast Abdul, good buddy of ours, the Mr. Shillgates, and Hodpro. And then after that, we have the final social, where you might see some familiar names here. We got Matty Allen, Rachel Lobb, Fast Abdul again, Whitney Magic, some Zenith crypto guy, whoever that could possibly be, Axis Alive, and TB Dunamis. I apologize for butchering it, but yeah, as you can see, they are they're going. They're going. So I think right now they're actually doing a bit of the security talk. So if you ever had questions about a little more security when it comes to crypto, you might be able to find it over there. But as opposed to that, though, yes, we are doing a little bit different show as opposed to the normal stuff tonight. But either way, still very happy to be here with you guys. We had a big week here. Bitcoin made a new all-time high, and Ethereum almost made a new all-time high. It's not as big of news, but at the same time, though, it's a change in the pace of how things have been going for Ethereum in the past, and prices are going up. So what's not to love, right?
I agree. There's some pretty cool price action that's going on in the Pulse chain land. Let me change. There's the nope, that's the wrong one. This is the right one. I've got the camera actions while I'm also trying to talk here. There's some cool price action going on. We've got a new all-time high for Ethereum. I think this week. I'm pretty sure it was a new all-time high. I don't remember if it was if it's just a local this cycle high or if it's all-time high.
It is a local this cycle high. So the previous high for Ethereum was just about $4,900. This time we got to about like $4,750, which I mean, come on, it's pretty darn close.
Yeah, so it's not an all-time high from like 4-ish plus years ago or however long it's been, but it is a new all-time high for this current bull market cycle, whatever you want to call it.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of cool things going on there, so we like that a lot. And then there's some fun stuff happening over in Pulse Chain because of who knows why, who knows what, but prices go up and we enjoy it. So before we get into all of that, we're going to go ahead and do one of the best parts of the show. And Zenith, before we do, I want you to say left or right for me. I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment.
Right.
You're to do right. All right, we're going with the classic chat shout-out paper that was in my right hand. Ladies and germs, it's time for chat motherfucking shout-outs. Just so you know, Zenith, if you would have said left, I would have taken my phone cover right here and I would have gone, bam, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for miniature chat motherfucking shout-outs. I made some awesome stickers. So shout out to everybody who's been collecting all these fancy and awesome stickers. One of the stickers that I had made is a chat shout-outs sticker. So when I start doing the sticker giveaways again, this is one of the stickers that you guys will win if you participate in the sticker giveaway. I do not have the means to do it right now because I'm not in my shipping container. But in the near future, I'll be headed back to Texas. So you guys can look forward to more sticker giveaways in the very near future. We've got this one. We've got some of the DGen Roundtable. Not these ones. These are the ones that you had made, Zenith, that we gave away at the Pulse Chain conference. But I've got some of the more classic DGen Roundtable logo, the same as the one that's on the ticker DRT shitcoin that you guys should definitely not buy because it's trash and educational only. But it's one of the older DRT logos. Yeah, it's a piece of shit. Don't do it. And that way I can buy more of it and stuff it all in my own pockets and
okay, now you're just reverse psychologying people, so maybe not do that either.
Oh yes, so you guys should totally go and actually you should go rob banks. That's what you should do. Remember, nothing that we talk about here on this show is financial advice. I wish I had my
or legal advice, if you will.
Yeah. No financial or legal advice. The only advice that I'm going to give you guys is to go out in real life and go meet some actual fucking hexkins. And to do that, you can go to bit.ly/hex_meetup. If you want to go meet some hexkins, then go over there and find the hexkins in your local area and go chit chat with them and say hello. So now it is time, as everyone knows, not financial advice, for chat motherfucking shout out. So scrolling up to the top of the show, I will shout out our very first DGen that has hopped in with us tonight. We've got Mr. Hexican Lost in Asia with a square box as it shows up on StreamYard. I'm gonna presume that it's okay. Looking on my phone,
saluting emoji.
Yes, the salute emoji. I like that my phone shows it, but StreamYard is just like, I don't know what this is. Help me out. So shout out to you, Mr. Hexican Lost in Asia. Love to see you, broski. And a classic DGen. He hopped in. Let's see, this was 25 minutes before the show went live, which is right when I made the show. It was a pretty short short time being up on YouTube. So good to see you, Mr. Hexagon Lost in
All
Asia.
good.
We're also
and by the
joined-
way, Mr. Hexagon
Yeah.
Lost in Asia, I saw you over there. He was giving me the countdown when I was on Maddie's stream. He's like, "Hey, DRT starts in 10 minutes. You gotta go." I'm like,
Ooh.
"All right."
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I honestly didn't. I forgot what time zone you're in because
Yeah.
I'm over here in Pacific time right now myself. I'm hanging out up at my father's house with him and my brother. And so when I saw that you had posted you're doing something at 7, I'm like, oh crap, what time zone is Zenith in? What time zone am I in? I know I'm all fucked up. Oh geez, so I didn't know that you were going to be on the show tonight. I didn't plan on it, but that's awesome. So
all good.
Hex Kid was giving you the countdown over on Maddie's stream. I love it.
Yeah,
That's
I was getting a lot of love over there, so I appreciate all you guys tons. You're the best.
Yes. Shout out to all you guys. It's freaking great. And shout out to Maddie for pulling off the Pulse Chain conference. I like all the work that Maddie does. I would also the little Yes. So next up we've got Mr. Farmer J. Everyone knows him as Farmer J. Some people call him Brown 310, but he says when 2 weeks. It is always 2 weeks away from where we're going next, Mr. Farmer J. Nobody knows what the hell is going on, so we're always just 2 weeks away. It's a state of mind that we love to be in. Love to see you though, Farmer J. Glad we could have you. We're also joined by Miss Amber Simon. Miss Amber Simon says hello. Hello to you too, Miss Amber Simon. Glad to have you with us on stream tonight. We've also got Frank White who says bang bang DGen gang. Good to see you, Frank White. If you guys need to find anything Pulse Chain related, this dude has made an awesome website aggregator that you guys can go to. plstart.me is the name of the website. So if you just type in plstart.me, then you can find all of these cool things. In fact, I might bring it up later if I can remember. But good to see you, Frank. We're also joined by my good friend, Mr. Josh from the Marine Corps, Mr. Slide 180, who says cheers. Cheers to you too, sir. I don't know how long this beer has been sitting in my room, but at least since the last time that I've been to my father's house. So cheers to you. It's got an alien on the koozie that is reading a book that says how to believe in yourself. So I'm not going to actually drink it. Let's see what this beer even is. Ooh, it's an Irish Death. A Quilter's Irish Death Dark Smooth Ale. What a shame that I did not drink all of this. I don't know if there's things floating on the top. I'm going to presume that it is, and I'm just not going to touch it. But shout out to you, Mr. Josh 180. Glad
I will
that we
say,
can have you
I know
with us.
whenever we go on other people's streams and try to class it up, I throw on the jacket for Maddie's legal stream, and I was drinking the green screen flavored LaCroix. But being back on your own stream, it feels good to.
You got your silver bullet.
Good silver bullet
in a glass. Ooh, we're going fancy.
I know,
My fancy glass that I have today that I'm not using is a Marine Corps 2nd MLG 238th Marine Corps Ball birthday from 2013. So shout out to all my fellow Marines, including Mr. Josh 180, Mr. Slide 180, who was in the Marine Corps with me, and we probably went to that Marine Corps ball together. I know that for one of them, me and Josh and our buddy Beamster, we were all like hanging out in the same hotel. We like drove all the way to Wilmington and got plastered because I forgot like my belt buckle, and there was no fucking way that I was going to show up to the ball like in a uniform that was not correct. And so we all just was like, hey, let's go to fucking Tilted Kilt and just get wasted for the night. And so we did that instead of going to the Marine Corps ball, and it was great. Nice. So good to see you, Josh. Glad that we could have these awesome memories. What you got?
My glass is from Green Flash, slightly military related. When I was at Navy Damage Control School in Virginia, this is one of the local breweries over in Virginia Beach. It's a good one. Definitely go check it out if you're over there.
Excellent. That's awesome. We love the DCs. The DCs keep the ship running. So there
keep
you
the
go.
Shitters running too.
Keep the shitters running. Yes, you can go
That's
poop
very
and you can not sink, and you can have the nice things like pipes and other such things. I forgot that they run on our ship. They had hull technicians. The hull techs did that work because I think we had like a 3,200 person ship. USS Wasp. But anyways, enough about me and you and our military careers. Let's get back to chat shout-outs.
Keep it going.
We're joined as well by Miss Tam Tam, who says, hello, my lovelies. Shout out to Pulse Chain's #1 cheerleader. Good to see you, Tam Tam. Tam is starting to do some really cool things over on Twitter. She's going to start doing Tuesday Spaces on Twitter, where she's going to help answer questions for new onboards and things. And then I'm also going to be helping her over here with the DGen Roundtable. We're going to start to make some cool onboarding videos. So I'm gonna make a whole separate YouTube channel, and we're just gonna make some dedicated videos. It's not gonna be streams. It's gonna be pre-made videos on like, hey, this is how you get a MetaMask wallet. This is how you set up Coinbase. This is how you use the bridge. This is how you use 0x Coast. This is how you use fucking Pateus. This is how you use whatever the hell. So just a whole bunch of super easy, quick little dumb idiot-proof videos for helping folks get into Pulse Chain and learn about the basics of everything having to do with Pulse Chain. So it's gonna be way simpler than like Crypto Explained, way simpler than Whiteboard Crypto. Probably not as good production quality because I've never made pre-records before. I've only ever done streaming, so we'll see how it goes. But this was all Tam's idea, and she's asked for help, so we're gonna help her. And it's gonna be
go
great.
ahead and pull up my screen share here. I got something for you.
Oh, pull up your screen share. Yes. Ooh, you've got it. Richard Hart University. Yeah. Can you do a quick little brief of this?
Yes, sir. So it's exactly what you said. The whole point is we're looking to get more education out there, and by we, I mean Tam, and she has reached out to the community asking for some help to get it going. And I can tell you, Will and I are definitely there to help support however we possibly can. But the tagline here, the Harvard of Ivy Leagues on the blockchain, no middlemen, no tuition, no limits. So
yep.
Shout out to Tam. Building stuff is cool, and really appreciate you getting this going.
And we've also, I don't know if you've noticed, Zenith, but we've also been joined by Mr. Agent J. In fact, we now have enough people that we no longer need to make it a Campfire Stories DGen Roundtable. I can change the background to, let's see, we've got DGen Roundtable.
It can still be Campfire Stories.
We could still be Campfire Stories. Yeah. Oh, actually, I think I have a 3-person. You know what? We're going to keep it Campfire Stories, and I'm going to make it the this one right here. Let's see if... Oh, look at that. We've got campers and a fire tender. Excellent. I forgot we had a 3-person Campfire Stories. Ooh, check this out. Agent, hey, Jay, check this out.
Yeah, what up?
Bam. Now we've got a time thing down at the bottom, right underneath Zenith that tells the folks when we're live. It used to be just empty space, but now it's got now we're using more of the available space on the stream. Welcome, Agent Jay. Glad to see you, broski. How are you doing? What's new and exciting with you?
I am doing wonderful. I actually just finished having some dinner, made some pasta and steak, the usual. I quite literally have probably the same half dozen or so meals that I rotate on a day-to-day basis because they're delicious.
Nothing wrong with
they're
that.
easy to make. Yeah, man, low maintenance.
Have you upgraded to a standing desk, Agent Jay? It looks like you're standing.
Yeah, so the chair that I had before, it was one of those fantasy lab chairs, which is one of the fancier gaming chairs, and it sucks for your back. There's no ergonomic support for your back. And it was just killing my low back. It was killing my low back. I thought I had injured myself squatting because I was like, how come my back is not recovering? And then I realized it's probably because I've been sitting on this computer chair for too long during the day. Doing streams and doing TA and stuff like that. I was like, let's switch to a standing desk position, and then that solved my problems. But I actually got one of those kneeling chairs, right? Because I still get tired if I stand too long. So I've got 2 options now. I've got the standing option, and I've got the kneeling chair option.
That's awesome. What do you think about streaming standing up? I personally like it a lot better, but I can't carry my Connex around with me everywhere we go, and the chair is the default. What are your thoughts?
I love streaming standing up because I'm a busybody in general. My wife gets like super crazy because if we're sitting like at a restaurant, like my legs will be moving, like like I'd be tapping on the desk. I'm a busybody in general, so this allows me to move during stream. So it might give people some motion sickness, but I like it better standing for sure.
I like it as well. It's really difficult to do both the DGen Roundtable and the effing Hangout and like just be standing and streaming for like 5 fucking hours. But like, a nice little 1-2 hour session. It's like it's cool. It's refreshing. It keeps me a lot more mentally aware than like when I'm sitting down and leaning back and swiveling side to side and stuff. So I freaking like it. And also, Farmer Jay says you're looking good, broski. No Diddy. So.
Thank you, Farmer Jay.
Excellent.
You know me, I'm very vain, so I gotta stay 24/7.
We like it. We like it. All right, we're gonna get back to the chat shadow. So we've got next up Mr. Smoothbrain, aka Boomstick. Bring the sauce, gents. So we're gonna bring you some sauce today. I was expecting this to just be a quick little short show of like 20 minutes where I would literally just read through all the campfire stories and be like, all right, guys, we're done. But we're joined by two excellent, awesome people. So you guys are gonna get some fucking sauce today. Don't you worry. We also got Moonpilled Rational Optics, who says, "What's up, gentlemen? What's up to you too, sir, Mr. Moonpilled Rational Optics? I realized, Moonpill, after you had won those stickers, that you have actually sent me your address before. So I'm going to mail those to you instead of keep holding on to them, waiting until I see you in person to deliver them next. So Moonpilled Rational Optics, stay ready for some cool ass stickers in the mail. I'll get those out to you as soon as I can, broski." Let's see. Next up in the chat shuttles, we've got Mr. Hex Glenn, who has also won some stickers. Hey, yay, stickers. Glad to see you, Hex Glenn. You probably got some of the really cool, awesome ones because you had won earlier in the beginning before I ran out of like a lot of the really cool, fancy ones. So glad to see you, Hex Glenn. Good to have you on the show. Agent J, I don't know if you had seen this earlier in the show, but I've actually got a chat shout out sticker now. So we have the ability to do chat shoutouts anywhere in the world now. I don't have to carry my binder around with me because I got the fucking sticker right here on my phone case. So it's freaking awesome.
I did not see it earlier. I was I actually caught the stream with Herbs and Z, so that was pretty cool.
Hey,
very excited. I just saw that there was quite a few $1 million bridged into the Pulse Chain ecosystem. So hopefully that hopefully that keeps us floating into the next leg of this pump. So
that transitions us right perfectly into our next chat shout out. We've got Mr. Beyond All, who says the green bath is cooking, D-Gens. Yes. For those of you guys who are a little bit behind the curve, there was like $2 or $3 million of stable coins that was bridged in from Tornado Cash straight on over into Pulse Chain. And I don't know what's been happening with it yet, if it's been used to start buying or if it's just a fucking money has been moved over. And so people are buying in a campfire story frenzy. Who the fuck knows? Not me, because I don't know how to do on-chain analysis or whatever. So I just hear it's been happening and other people talking. So love to see it. Good to have you with us, by the way, Mr. Beyond All. And then a quick little aside from Farmer J. Shout out to all the real men that keep the shitters running. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yes,
we love the plumbers. We love the hull technicians. We love the damage control guys. First world countries are very awesome. And I got to say, having been to other countries where they don't have plumbing, where you have to like shit in a hole, or where you can't throw toilet paper down the toilet because their sewage systems can't process paper. Like, it is really nice here in the States. You know, all the things that I'd take for granted. So definitely, for real, shout out to all the guys that keep the shitters running, and stay away from third world countries, broski.
Dude, back in the Philippines, when I grew up in the province in Bicol, Sorsogon, we used to shit in holes.
Yep.
We didn't have indoor plumbing. So you'd go out back and bring a shovel with you, and you'd take a shit in a hole, and you wipe your ass with banana leaves, just hoping that there's not a banana spider on the fucking banana leaves.
Yep. It's not the worst thing in the world. Like, it once you get used to it, it's like, oh, I could shit anywhere now. But it, like, man, having indoor plumbing is so much better. So even just porta johns, like the nice things that we have in America, you guys should not take for granted. Yeah. And speaking of the nice things, we've also got Farmer J thanking Tam for all the work that she is doing. Abso-fucking-lutely right. Tam is doing some great stuff over there on Twitter, doing a lot of work marketing, and we appreciate all of it. So that concludes. Oh, just kidding. We have a I shit in holes by the 405. We have a question from Farmer J for Agent J. If you had $100 to put into Pulse Chain ecosystem that was not an RH Core coin, what would you choose? Oh boy, this is a loaded question.
Sorry to tell you, Farmer J, but I stick mainly to cores, and even within the cores, I only hold 3. I am predominantly in Hex because Hex dominance thesis, Pulse X because Pulse X is the only one that has the potential. If there's a second place that could potentially flip Hex and outrun it this cycle, it's going to be Pulse X, just because it's been doing it for the entirety of this cycle, basically. And then Pulse Chain because, you hold the L1. I hold no incentive and I hold no E-Hex. And if I were going to recommend you something, it would be those 3, because I don't know about any other token in the Pulse Chain ecosystem because I stick to the cores.
He says he knows he's sticking to the course.
The what if? All right, here. Tell you what, Will, I got something for you.
Well, he
Go
said
for
what if, but I don't even know anything else. Like, I mean, I could tell you the projects that my friends made, right? I mean, you know,
There you go.
Abdul.
You want me to pull up your
yeah.
pull up your share screen, Z? There you go.
So let's take a look at the overall ecosystem. Overall, on the daily, looking pretty good. Pulse Chain, like a few of the other coins, is actually at a bit of a critical point, which is that there's what appears to be a resistance level here right at like this 4 zeros and a 6 level, or a little bit lower if you want to get more technical. Came up, touched it. We're just sitting a hair above it now, but again, there's a good bit of resistance to get through there. Similar story is actually on Pulse X and Incentive Token as well. Recent resistance level that we went up, just kind of kissed, didn't quite break through, touch it again. Now we're touching it for a third time. Incentive Token, actually very similar story as well. So resistance level previously from back here, another one over here that we touched earlier in May, had a little bit more success above it when it comes to Incentive Token, but again, broke down. Now we're trying to reclaim that one. Hex, it's somewhat similar, but had a little bit of a stronger showing earlier in late July. And then since then, really just been in this consolidation range, trying to break her out. So overall, the ecosystem's actually looking pretty good. If you want to answer your what if question, well, let's hop over to Dex Screener. In my opinion, there's been one token. Again, nothing here is financial advice. I'm pretty sure I'm not even invested in most of these things myself. PTGC, aka the Gray's currency. This is a token in Pulse Chain that has done pretty phenomenally well, and they got a good team with good fundamentals behind their project. So I would not be surprised if this does well in the future. If you want to do something Richard Hart related that is not a core token, well, then you can go look at Most, or the meme coin that allegedly Richard Hart launched through the Pump.Tires protocol. If there is any of those tokens out there that has the most potential, I think it's this one. It has the clout of being Richard Hart's behind it, and there's a possibility that it could pump. Excuse me. It could pump as a result of that. If you want to go look at some of the other stuff that's out there, good buddy Fast Abdul, the 2Fucks has a couple different tokens. This is the governance token for the DEX that's out there. Additionally, there's a lot of other just projects out there that work. I know one personally that I brought up before is 9inch. Whether you're a big fan or not, I understand it's crass, but at the same time, it still is operational, and it's currently sitting at all-time lows. So if you're someone that's maybe taking look for the long shot horse, if you will, it's not a terrible option. BBC, the incentive token that gets put out as a result of the farms, also pretty similar as well, right near all-time lows, and has actually bounced off the bottom and didn't make new all-time lows. So could be a point in favor, but at the same time, though, A, nothing we're giving here is financial advice, but B, most of us are just in the core coins. I think some of the most functionality you're going to get is out of those core tokens. They're the largest in the space. Pulse Chain was created to make Hex better, so a lot of the narrative really drives around those. Inside of those, Pulse X has the buy and burn function, which has been going great. Additionally, it did hit parity as well recently, which is a big thumbs up in the category for that. Incentive token has had its emissions slashed by 97%, meaning the supply is dripping compared to the fire hose that it used to be. So if you're looking for supply, that might be one there. And then kind of the crown jewel, Hex, the thing that the whole thing was made to be better for. It's right there. It's 5.5 to 1 when it comes to Hex on Pulse Chain to eHex. So there's a lot of plays. And I mean, to steal a quote from our good buddy Triplet Dad, he was saying that Pulse Chain is the coin of the realm. So that's the one that he has the most faith in. So there you go. It's really kind of a crapshoot about what you want to go for. At the same time, I think it does ultimately come back to what is your investing strategy and what are you trying to go for. You can throw scratcher tickets around, but don't expect any serious life-changing returns out of them. You might get some decent gains, but at the same time, in my personal opinion, they're just way too high risk, and being in Pulse Chain is already an altcoin in and of itself. So that is a high risk. So to compound those, that's like high risk on high risk. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? What are you doing? I'll tell you what Mr. Funk Master Hex is doing. He's raising a cheers to us. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Good evening to you too, sir. Mr. Funk Master Hex. You're abso-fucking-lutely right. Hit the damn like button. Ladies and gentlemen at home, hit that like button. We like it. We like it. Makes me feel
Much
good.
appreciated,
Anyways.
sir.
Yep.
I don't know, Jay, am I crazy with my analysis here? Saying that going for the meme coins on Pulse Chain is a super, super leverage play?
Yeah, because Pulse Chain already is inherently high risk play. Like, you want to talk about edge of the risk curve there's Pulse Chain. And so if you want to go even lower, so if you're a degen and you want to play in the degenerate playground, then be my guest. But I'm a very conservative investor, so
For sure.
yeah, I let the degens play in the degen playground, and I stay within like the high to mid caps.
I do want to hammer this point home, though. Just because we're not actively endorsing, nor that we ever would endorse anything on here, just because we're not endorsing like people throwing money in this kind of stuff, it doesn't mean that we don't think there are good projects on Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain has been a bit of a developer's playground, and we've seen a lot of our friends put out some really good stuff. Like, the vast majority of things just work, and that's fantastic to see. Granted, they're nothing like super novel. It's usually a lot of forks of other protocols that are existing. But at the same time, though, it's building out that ecosystem and that space where when Pulse Chain does, cross my fingers on this one, knocking on wood, making sure it comes true, which is that when Pulse Chain does really hit it big, it means that that ecosystem is already there for people to come in and play, or to be an attractor to get people to come in and play in those things. So DeFi protocols, oh yeah, we got those. There's even some GameFi stuff going on, and there's also a bit of an NFT market as well. So there's a handful of stuff out there for folks, and theoretically it should just attract more people and help provide some infrastructure that'll help keep the chain going.
Agent J, and you know, I don't remember when we talked about this, but a long time ago, you and I were doing a stream, or maybe we were talking in person or something, but we were talking about how like crazy, stupid opportunity, or how like there was a crazy, beautiful chart thing for PDI a long time ago. I remember it was months ago or some shit. And it's like, I don't know if that opinion has been vindicated, or if right after that point that we were talking about that, it further dropped a whole bunch, like it did its 97. I don't remember the timeline, but you know, if you guys want to fall into that narrative, I personally don't own any PDI, but that's a thing that people like to get crazy about. And a lot of people have like a whole bunch of very emotional opinions about. To me, it's another coin, it's another Campfire story. Same thing as all of them, same thing as Hex, same thing as Pulse Chain, same thing as Bitcoin, same thing as Ethereum. You know, they're all motherfucking Campfire stories that people buy into because they get excited and awesome about it. And you know, a lot of them have like fundamental good things. But I don't remember where that falls in the world of like, oh wow, look at that thing that we talked about a long time ago. Did it crash? Did it get vindicated? I don't fucking know. But there, I will say that. What's that?
You know, it's funny. I'm pretty sure it was Brown that asked for the chart, and
Yeah.
this is when shit hit the fan with PDI.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, let's pull up the chart. I don't know anything about this damn thing. I don't know anything about the protocol. I don't know anything about MakerDAO and its involvement with PDI. Like, I'm just going to give you an objective analysis, or as an objective as an analysis I can provide you based on chart alone. And I was like, looking at this chart, I could make a very bullish argument for PDI. I can make a very bullish argument for PDI based on this really nice looking chart. And then I think like a few days later, it giganuked and broke structure. So I was like, well, there was the bearish. The bearish stance, and it played out. I haven't checked it, so I don't know. Maybe like if it didn't completely destroy that bullish market structure, then I could probably make another bullish argument for it, because you know there's always a bullish case. But I haven't seen the chart, so
I may have the chart. I may have the chart ready for you guys.
Oh boy, here we go. Let's take
All right. So, could anyone point to on the chart where it giganuked? Just a guess.
Nearby where your crosshairs are.
Yeah, the giant red wick. What a shock.
Yep. Yeah, because before that red wick, you know what I had? I had a very nice, clear 5-weight, have my Elliott hat on, right? As an Elliott wave analyst, I was like, well, you could argue that you have a very clean 5-wave impulse here, contracting diagonal, it looks like. So I was like, okay, cool. We have a really strong chart, and this dip is, as a technical analyst, I'm like, well, to be expected, right? You got 5-wave impulse, you get 3-wave corrective structure, and then you get the next move up. And then that wick happened. So I don't know if that touched the 886, probably did. But here's the thing. The thing with PDI is it's a shit coin. It has relatively low liquidity compared to other assets in general. Plus, you have like what's the trading volume on PDI? $67,000 worth of volume. So you could probably impose an Elliott wave structure and Elliott wave rules on every single asset that you could possibly chart. But in this case, I don't know. Maybe it might not fall into one of those things, right? Because that recovery is pretty nice. I know people who caught that wick and made out like a freaking bandit.
Yeah.
Man. That was a high conviction play. I will say that much. But the people that did catch it all the way down there, yeah, they definitely made out pretty well. Where's my... So from bottom of the wick, even just a recovery, that's 20,000%.
Woo!
Wowee. Look at that.
Again,
Catching
this is
some
also
knives. How long did it sit there?
This is less than a day.
It's got $130,000 in liquidity, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, 138K in liquidity, market cap of 265 million. So definitely the low liquidity is the big thing here. And again, doing this quick price analysis here, that is also not taking into account what liquidity looked like at the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's the trading volume on the daily look like, Z?
Over the last 24 hours, we've seen 66K in trading volume.
Yeah, man. It's like the same money going in and out, man.
Yeah.
Here we go. So I'm on the 1 hour chart now. Your dip lasted approximately 1 hour.
Yeah. That's nuts. So whoever caught that falling knife within that hour, it's like, you look pretty great, but everyone else is, yeah. Best of luck. So I'm not saying it's a good idea, Farmer Brown. I'm just saying that this is a thing that sometimes people talk about. And listening to the things that people talk about, the more people that talk about it, the more power it gets, yada, yada, yada. Like the Yankees are way more powerful of an economic engine than insert, X, Y, and Z home team for your high school or whatever. So like, just consider all of the things that make number go up and do your own math, take your own risks. I certainly don't have any of it, but it is a thing that exists out there.
I'll wade into the firefight on this one. I know that the PDI narrative is still alive and well with certain circles inside of Hexaco.
Yeah.
I think that what it really boils down to is that people are looking for a meme coin. They want the one that has the strongest narrative. Okay, if that's the case, then what is your narrative? Your narrative is that this eventually becomes a stable coin. Okay, let's just assume that it hits $1 in pegs. Well, that means that your upwards possibility is capped, meaning that it does not have the ability to run even harder than you're hoping for there. So if we just want to go back to the daily here and we want to go even from current prices, where's my 1? So if we do this, we go from there to there effectively. Cool. That is 17,800%. Is that a pretty healthy gain for a meme coin? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Not knocking that at all. But the whole point of meme coins is that you're looking for that home run that gets hit and it scores 1 million points. So based on that, I think just because it's capped, it means that the upside potential is limited. At the same time, though, the narrative is strong, and I understand that. The other argument that I've been hearing is that they're like, well, what if we could actually make this a stable coin? Why? Why would you want this to become a stable coin? The whole point of a stable coin is to be stable, meaning that you want good fundamentals behind it. And this arguably does not have that. So if you want the use case of a stable coin, go get a better stable coin. If you want the use case of a meme coin, well, why not get a meme coin that has infinite potential theoretically? I understand the narrative is strong, but at the same time, though, I think there are better alternatives at this time. In particular, I think some of the stuff coming out through the pump tires mechanism is a better way of doing that. So me personally, I'm just not a huge fan of PDI for those two reasons. If you want a stable coin, get a better stable coin. If you want a meme coin, get a better meme coin. And if you're looking for meme coins, unfortunately, I don't think Pulse Chain is the place for you. It's shown that there's been a lot more of that energy on other chains that are really leaning into it, like Solana. So if the whole point is that you're trying to play where the whales splash, go over there. I don't really think this is the place for that.
That's a good, I like that analysis. That's a very fair and reasonable analysis. Oh, no, I have to change the cameras.
That was such a great analysis, bro.
Hey, I've been talking about this for like months.
I was like,
I just-
yeah, man, if you want to play the degenerate casino, you should probably play where all the other degenerates play, which is going to
yeah,
be on
go to the casino. Don't shoot dice on the corner.
right?
Yep,
It's like the
yep,
degens aren't playing on Ethereum because they don't want to play gas out the wazoo.
No.
They're playing where there exists the most liquidity, which is on Solana, right?
Sorry, not
Absolutely.
trying to yuck anyone's yums. I'm just trying to
No.
give you the emotionless argument here, which is that
That
I'm
is a
doing
f-
the analysis, and this is what my analysis says. Please feel free
Yeah.
to disagree with me. Happy to engage up to a point because I feel like there's a lot more important topics that we could be talking about than that one. But thank you for
Absolutely.
indulging me in my soapbox.
I like it. I like it. I like it. So speaking of other things that we could possibly be talking about, I have just a absolute list of headlines, and I was only planning on doing an hour-long show tonight, gentlemen. Is there anything that you want to talk about before I just read through and power through some of these silly things, and we just stop and chit chat about something as we hear it?
Let's get some boring stuff out of the way. Agent J,
Okay, go for it.
was there some important data that came out this week, particularly in the United States?
Yeah, they kind of put a damper on our pump. Yeah, man. PPI. So if you guys were in the Telegram, you guys already know that we were talking heavily about the potential ramifications of PPI. Why? Everybody talks about the headline CPI and the core CPI. That's all important, right? But the PPI was even more important because that thing exists at the very top of the food chain, right? It's like everything else exists downstream because the PPI is for like the entrepreneurs. They're for the producers, right? They're the ones who build the thing that you buy at the shelf. So the PPI is the inflation reading for their costs, right? It's like the inflation on the wholesale costs. So if that thing skyrockets, the assumption is, it's a reasonable assumption, that you're going to see that reflected on the final ticket price that you and I pay at the gas station or at the grocery stores. And that thing did not come out nice. All right. It went up more than a full percentage point from June to July. I think month over month. So June to July, and I think year over year, it was also really terrible. We had not had that bad of a print since 2022. I think it was 2022 or late 2021. It was one of those years, man. It was not good. And it freaking scared the heck out of the market. Why? Because not only do you have inflation, both headline and core, inching up to 3% again, you got a nasty PPI print, and then you got a really disgusting downwards revision from the labor market data that erased almost 90% of the jobs 90% of the prelim data, right? So it's like, unemployment and labor market is starting to constrict again, and then suddenly inflation is going back up to 3%. So now, again, both sides of the Fed's dual mandate are suddenly at risk. Labor market constricting, not good for people looking for jobs or the labor market in general. CPI, once again, going up to that 3%, not really good in terms of like of spending and stimulating the economy. So, like the Fed's gonna be stuck between a rock and a hard place again. Now, the assumption is that Jerome Powell is gonna cut regardless. I don't know if he does. My goodness, man, it's going to be entertaining to see what happens, man, because it's like this guy has been so adamant about, well, we're not really going to cut rates because inflation is going up again. And then in September, he cuts. Why? Because you're pressured into doing so when the data clearly tells you that the tariff, whether it's a tariff inflation or not, or just regular inflation, clearly the numbers are going back up, like the worst that it has been since like 2 years ago, and then you're gonna tell me that you're gonna cut now, bro, man. Like if he cuts, I'm gonna just be laughing, dude. I'm gonna just be laughing, and then I'm gonna lose faith in our government officials because I was like, man, at least he's holding to his guns, and if he raises or if he cuts this September meeting, and then all of the stuff that we're getting clearly is telling you the labor market is constricting, and then the inflation is going back up, and then you cut. I'm going to be like, JP, you're full of fucking shit.
Man, welcome to the club, Jay. This is what I've been saying the whole fucking time. They're all a bunch of scumbags. They're all a bunch of liars. They're all a bunch of campfire storytellers. But their campfire stories aren't even any good. It's just a bunch of bogus bullshit. So glad to have you aboard the USS Cynical Government Believer train. Welcome.
I'm usually on that ship, but I guess I'm playing devil's advocate tonight. So here's what Jerome Powell might say to try to maybe sweep this under the rug. And he said it in many of the press conferences before. Jay could probably get this out faster before it's going to come out of my mouth. But it's that we don't take readings by a 1 month basis. He's going to look at the aggregate of data overall, and instead of just take a singular data point to look at it. Was this a good data point? No. Only good news for me on this one was that consumer price index, CPI, was 2.7%, which is in line-ish with the trend towards 2%. Still not 2%, but it's still below 3%, which I personally think is a good thing. The producer price index, though, that one going up to about 3.3% there. Yeah, that's also a bit of a worry there. And then the final thing there is the jobs. Yes, we did have the jobs revisions. What was that? May and June was the big revision.
Yeah.
And then I want to say that the numbers that came out this month, they weren't looking great. It looks like 73,000 jobs added in July, which is a bit of a slowdown from the expected growth. So at the same time there, yeah, Jay, you're kind of entirely right, which is that it's not looking too great, which does call into question the old rate cuts question. And I will say this, Jerome Powell has been largely resistant to pressures on people telling him how to do his job. Will that go on forever? Don't know. But because he's been pretty good about it for so long, it leads me to believe that he might actually just continue to just hold rates if he believes that that's the right thing to do.
You know, one thing that happened also that that might push his freaking might push these guys to the edge. Their reverse repo liquidity is like almost gone. So that's like very reminiscent of what happened back in like 2018 when they had to like hard stop QT and start aggressive with QE because the reverse repo facility, like the liquidity was drained. So they're like, oh, that's not good.
What's reverse repo? Can you give
the folks just quick synopsis?
Yeah. So the reverse repo is kind of like it's basically a place where the Fed can pull liquidity for emergency situations, like just in case banks need it, right? It is also where very large institutions can park their money, right? So if that liquidity is going down, then they don't have any emergency reserves, and it also tells you that very large institutions, right, are taking their money and parking it elsewhere and not there, right? And the reverse and the reverse repo rate has a significant effect on just rates as a whole. So if that thing goes to shit, then it's one of those things that you would probably consider as a red hot emergency, and the Fed's going to have to step in and refill those reserves, which means what? They're going to have to start injecting liquidity back into the market to refill those reserves. They have not hit those levels, I think, since like 2021. The discrepancy from where it was at the beginning of 22 to now is crazy. I don't know the exact numbers, but it went from like trillions to several billions.
Order of magnitudes right there. Big.
Yeah. So it's drained.
Definitely. I will say this. We're having an interesting and lively chat about how the data that came out this week was not good, but I do have a question, which is, Will, if you don't mind, I have a screen share here for you.
Yes.
Which is that cool. We got not great data when it comes to the markets overall. But if we shift over to the ETF view, why is it that Ethereum ETF just had the single largest day of inflows in the ETF's history in right around the same time that this happened? And then the rest of the week after that continued to see massive inflows regardless. The data is showing that it's higher risk for inflation, but at the same time, crypto, if we believe it to be a risk on asset, is showing that it's kind of going the same direction regardless.
I'm not sure what your question is. Oh,
I know BlackRock. I don't know if they had 2 consecutive days, but I think it was at least 2 consecutive days where the ETH ETFs pulled in $1 billion worth, which was like the first time since it was released. So these dudes are definitely buying up more ETH. So
I do have an answer here myself, which is, by the way, that giant candle, which is the largest singular day. That is August 11th, aka Monday. If you remember what we talked about on Monday over on Walk the Block, yes, that is the day that Bitmine actually made one of their single largest purchases for Ethereum in and of itself. They're now up to 1.2 billion Ethereum, and they are now at like just a hair under 1% of the entire supply. So that is part of the reason for that one. But the rest of it, when it comes to the economic data, it's something that I'm kind of scratching my head on, which is like, yes, the news is not good. Theoretically, risk on assets should be going downwards. We saw a bit of it. They did not giga crash by any stretch of the imagination. If anything, they're actually holding up pretty good. Additionally, S&P 500 has still continued to make new all-time highs pretty much for a good chunk of the week there. So again, Bitcoin touched $123,000 or $124,000, come back and sitting right at the 20-day moving average at about 117. Ethereum went up. We hit about 47 and change, almost 4,800. And then again, it's had a slight pullback, sitting at about 4,400. So our risk on assets still look like they very much want to be risk on, even though we're getting new data saying that it might not be as much of a risk on environment as we thought it was. I don't know, just food for thought.
I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds fancy and it sounds very well thought through.
It means people are giving you bad news about inflation is going up. Does that make you want to spend more money or less money?
Yeah, when people lie to me, I don't want to spend more money. That's for sure. Now the question is, do the people know that they're being lied to? Or are they just gobbling it up like those, like that one alien skit where it's like, feed me more lies, yum, 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 more lies, please. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like, I'm a human, yum, 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 lies.
I'm unfamiliar with the exact clip, but I understand the concept.
Okay. There's aliens making fun of humans. They're like, oh yeah, look at them. They're being blatantly lied to. They're just gobbling it up.
Yeah. Look,
anyways,
one possible explanation for what we're seeing here is that this kind of thing could be the start of a potential decoupling, which is that crypto could be really in that phase of the 4-year cycle where it starts to move on its own, regardless of what's going on. Granted, yes, outside factors will absolutely have influence over it, such as, I don't know, the Federal Reserve turning on money printers. Yeah, that'll absolutely do very well for assets, and crypto is one of them. At the same time, though, crypto could be in that part of the cycle where its own forces are kind of driving it a little bit more than the rest of the outside forces that are coming in. Yes.
Excellent. I was looking at headlines. Sorry.
All good.
Also,
I'll say this.
Do you guys go ahead?
That's pretty much the end of it when it comes to looking at the charts and looking at the economic data going on. It is a bit of a head scratcher for me personally. So definitely going to be thinking about this one, trying to figure out what's going on that I'm not seeing, or if my own knowledge is missing gaps, which is what I'm seeing in the charts there. But overall, it's just another time where it's like we are in a critical point, both from the macroeconomic standpoint and from the crypto standpoint, which is that, yeah, we're coming up towards the end of the 4-year cycle there, theoretically. The talk about having that extended cycle going towards Q1 of 2025, it's alive now more than ever. At the same time, though, you got to figure out, is the trend going to hold, or are we going to get the extended cycle? Are we actually going to get the 4-year cycle, or are we going to go longer than the 4-year cycle? Ultimately, only time's going to tell on that one. But you can theoretically do some good thinking and strategizing ahead of time, so that way you're not kind of caught with your butt flapping in the wind, out to dry, so to speak.
Yeah. You know what's funny? That's why I always encourage people, like, you gotta do both like chart-based, structure-based analysis and like news-based sentiment analysis, because I could have told you that even though the sentiment has been fairly poor, the reason why some of our risk assets are still going up is because, structurally speaking, they were trying to complete an Elliott impulse. And then everybody said, oh, the PPI data caused the market to crash. But then if you're looking at the streams, I was like, well, you know, this structure here looks to be getting close to completion, so you could probably expect a correction soon. So it's like people are always going to want to find a reason to attach to the price action. So yeah, man, like don't just be a pure sentiment based analyst, because the charts paint a very clear picture too. And I encourage people not to just be a technicals based analyst, right? I know some people
absolutely
say the price action is going to happen. Doesn't matter what the news is. People just want to attach a campfire story to the price action. But I say you got to have both, man. You gotta have both because having both gives you an edge.
True. And
This
just
is
for
true.
record here, the fear and greed index is currently sitting at 60. Yesterday it was 64. Last week it was 70. Last month it was 74. So the sentiment is starting to go down, but 60 is still technically in the greed area. It's the bottom of it, but it is still technically further into greed than the halfway point.
That's true. Guys, non sequitur question. I got to bounce here
Ooh.
in less than 5 minutes. Do you guys want to keep rolling over the show, and I will transfer over producer chair to you, Mr. Zenith?
Negative, sir. I have to do a little more prep for another one of my appearances over on the Pulse Chain stream. So I'm a busy boy
Excellent.
tonight.
All right. Sweet.
Dude, roll through the news real quick that you have in the headlines.
Yeah,
Okay,
what you got?
sweet. So here's what I got for super fast fucking wham bam. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
We've got in 2018, Harvard said that Bitcoin's more likely to hit $100 than $100,000, and now in 2025, Harvard just bought $116 million of Bitcoin for $116,000. It's like what Sami says, the price just wasn't high enough for them yet. Trump has also said that gold is not going to get tariffed. Circle USDC is to launch a new layer 1 blockchain called ARC, which is going to be focused on stablecoins. There was a 51% attack on Monero. Cubic appears to have seized control of the network. It didn't affect price action a whole lot. I think it only dropped by like 18%. And then some other stuff happened. There's a whole lot more that goes into it. They ended up they had all the power, but they didn't do anything with it. So more to come on that, I suppose. MetaMask is likely to unveil a stablecoin within a week or so. That news is several days old, so I don't know when that is likely to happen, but
Interesting idea.
there's that.
I think that one's been floated around there for a hot minute now. But
Yep.
if we actually see some execution, it might be potentially large because I'm pretty sure MetaMask is the #1 hot wallet that's being used.
Yep. We've also got Google Play is now tightening regulations for cryptocurrency software with wallets and exchanges. So it now requires local laws to be followed. So I don't know how that's to be interpreted, but Google Play is not a entity that I consider benevolent. So put that info in your pocket and do with it what you will. We've also got the World Economic Forum on Friday has named BlackRock Chief Executive Larry Fink and Rush Vice Chair Andre Hoffman as interim chairs of its board. So
The
There you go.
tinfoil's coming out, folks. Tinfoil
tinfoil's
stomps up.
yep.
Was definitely not on my bingo card, but look, I don't care what you. So here's the thing: if Larry Fink is not just a snake in the grass and he's not just a wolf in sheep's clothing and he's actually all about crypto, that's good news. Because remember how anti-crypto the World Economic Forum was up until now, right? They were shifting some regulations or some views on crypto, but they weren't like all in like the West has been since Donald Trump got elected. So if Larry Fink is not a wolf in sheep's clothing, and he is all about Bitcoin and Ethereum now, and he's happy that he's had the fastest and most successful ETFs launched by his company since the history of mankind, then I think this is good for our bags. Just saying.
No, Jay, you're missing the clear and obvious strategy here, which is that the WEF wants to bring in Larry Fink, who's good with crypto, so then they actually get what they want, which is WorldCoin, and they want all that eyeball data from the retina scans. That's what they want.
That's what they want. All right, guys, I got one more headline, then chat shoutouts, and then we got a boogie. All right, so here
Yes,
we go.
sir.
The final headline is the Federal Reserve has ended the program that increases bank scrutiny on cryptocurrency. So that is another nice little thing that has that we can put in our back pocket. And that's what we've got for super quick Campfire Story news headlines for the week, ladies and germs. One final quick round. You know what? We did that one earlier. We're going to do one final quick round of chat motherfucking shoutouts. We're using the sticker today, boys and girls. We've got Mr. West has joined us. Mr. West says, "Sup, DGen gang. Sorry for not being on for a while. Good to see you too, Mr. West. We love to see you, broski. Whenever you guys can show up, we like it best. That is the coolest thing. We've also got Jemmy, everyone's favorite. The thing is, retail is the one that's doing the buying. Do everyday people have money to buy, or are institutions doing the buying? I would say that that's been very big concern in Bitcoin as of late. So take that information how you will, and it's something definitely for folks to think about. I'm quite positive.
We've talked about this on some shows probably over a year ago at this point. We were looking at American savings accounts have been at a low since pre-COVID. Additionally, things like sports betting and casino gambling is up. So do people have money for investing? Maybe not. Do people have a little money to throw around in hopes that they hit it big and can save themselves a little bit of pressure? It looks like the answer might be slightly yes.
Yeah,
There you go.
leverage moves the market, gang.
And we've got one final chat shout out from Mr. Hexus, who says, salute right back to you, sir. We're about to salute you here in a second when we go to end the show. Before I end the show, Agent J, Zenith, where can the folks find you, and what have you got going on in the near future?
Oh, you can find me by scanning that QR code right there. I promise it doesn't go to my OnlyFans. That one's a paid subscription. That goes to our DGen Roundtable Telegram, where we produce a ton of exclusive DGen Roundtable content, usually in the mornings between 7 and 9 a.m. Arizona time, where I will be streaming. So you can find me there. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Z, what you got going on?
Folks, you can find me over on Instagram and X at ZenithDI. And then additionally, the Telegram here. And then also tonight, I will be on at 11 p.m. Eastern time over on the Pulse Chain Tour live stream that is hosted by Maddie Allen. Going to be a big panel with Maddie Allen, Rachel Lobb, Fast Abdul, Whitney Magic, me, Access Alive, and some other folks that show up. So very excited for that one. Please come show your support. We love supporting our friends around here. So happy to help Maddie. Happy to help spread the message, if you will. Outside of that, gentlemen, always a pleasure seeing you. Will, do the thing, baby.
Yes, for the folks at home who want to find me, you can find all of my links and everything from will.pls.fyi. I just gave it a test. It works again, so you guys can find everything there. If you're looking for me, I'm going to be in Washington, then Oregon, then Wyoming, then finally heading up in Texas, probably by the end of the week. So that's what's going on with me. That's what's going on with the DGen Roundtable. For the folks who have never seen us here before, you guys can find us streaming every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's where we stream, here on YouTube and here on Twitter. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. We fucking love each and every single one of you. And I want to thank you all for spending your valuable time with us here on the DGen Roundtable. As Agent J often says, we know that time is your most valuable asset. We appreciate you investing it right here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Will Stevenson, but more importantly, you have been watching the DGen Roundtable. Mr. Producer, that's me. I got to go ahead and get my trigger finger ready to click the end stream button, because it is time to remind all the folks at home to remember, where the fuck is it? There it is. I found it. To DGen responsibly.